The playoffs for the IEM Rio Major starts in 20 hours and 46 minutes, which makes this a prime time to do the pickems. This is not gonna be a super in-depth video about which teams or check the stats or whatsoever. I'm just gonna go from memory and from there make pickems and from what I observed during the previous phase. Although a note to be said is that I didn't watch all of the Legends stage because I had other things to do, but I watched a major part of it. So I go from the top to the bottom, starting with Outsiders versus Fnatic. Outsiders have somewhat impressed me. I did kinda have them as an underdog pick to make it to the playoffs, and then the run would end. But considering they play Fnatic, I would actually give them a solid chance of actually beating them. They did play each other in the Challenger stage, if I'm not mistaken, and Outsiders did destroy Fnatic, although there's this, I don't know the saying exactly, but the second time teams play each other, somehow the loser of the first encounter always has the upper hand. But I don't really believe it. I do think Fnatic still has some things to work out in front of a big crowd, whereas Outsiders, I feel like I can trust more to make the correct choice in those type of situations. Although some are from Fnatic I would look out for is specifically Messi and Roy. A bit faster, I still am not so sure in front of a crowd. And for Outsiders more Flit and Jame. So I'm gonna go with Outsiders. I feel like that's just the more safe option to do. Because in my mind this could be a very 50-50. But I'm just gonna go with Outsiders because that's what my instinct tells me to do. MOUZ Cloud9. I feel like Cloud9 should just steamroll it, quite frankly speaking. By the way, I don't have a webcam because my OBS doesn't want to work with the webcam. But nonetheless, MOUZ struggles quite famously in playoff situations in front of a crowd. I do expect them to have somewhat more crowd support than Cloud9. Or maybe not. I hope the Brazilian crowd actually gets behind Cloud9 because they have been playing really well. They do deserve some support even though they did knock out, Imperial and all of these guys. So, but I do think they do deserve the credit they need. Although I think they've shown that maybe they don't even care about the crowd support at this point. They've been taking names from what I know. They played FaZe Clan, they played NaVi, and they did play Vitality. I think they played Vitality. No. I can't remember who they played in this 2-0 match. I can't remember, but no, they played Heroic in the 2-0 match, right? Yeah, and Heroic went through 3-1, they lost to Cloud9. That's it. Team Spirit Heroic is another matchup that, on paper, Heroic should win, although with Team Spirit you never quite know. They did manage to beat Liquid in the last day, but I feel like that's more a Liquid failure rather than a Spirit triumph. And I feel like I could count on Heroic winning these types of matchups, quite frankly speaking, most of the time, so I will just go with Heroic. I don't really have anything that kinda indicates that Spirit should win this matchup. If Spirit plays, say, Fnatic or MOUZ Outsiders, I could see a world in which they do actually go through to the quarterfinals, but I don't really see it otherwise. Furia and NaVi is obviously the juicy one, the big one. My whole instinct tells me that NaVi should win this, but there is an outside chance that Furia does make an upset because of the home crowd support. I think even Simple went out and tweeted like, please don't boo me and my team, something along those lines. But do I think Furia has never really struggled previously in group stages? If you think back to the previous majors and Colognes and all of that. Actually in Cologne they maybe didn't get through to the playoffs, did they? Or maybe they did. For NaVi, it's in the playoffs they do the best work. So you have two counter opposites where one team plays better in the playoffs, the other team plays worse. But this time around, the team that plays worse has a home crowd support quite heavily, if not maybe 99% of it, to be quite frank with you, right? But though NaVi is a team that maybe doesn't really give a shit about that, do they? If you ask Simple, of course, or if you ask NaVi in general, of course it's fun and nice to have this home crowd support and the crowd support in general. But it's not really a factor that I would say NaVi needs in order to win. I feel like NaVi can win no matter what. Even if the whole crowd is cheering against them, I feel like they still can win. It's not like, I don't expect no one to cheer for NaVi, right? They have a massive fan base. And I mean, all over the world, they have the best player in the world, basically throughout history of Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It's really hard to cheer against NaVi. I will go for NaVi. Although, if there was any time Furia actually was gonna make a run at the major, it is this one. But I still think they're quite unfortunate to match up against NaVi in the first round, meaning they probably will get eliminated. I can see them winning, but I would say it's like 60-40 to NaVi. 60-40 as it looks right now. If NaVi gets back to old form, 70-30. Then once again, let's go from the upside down. Cloud9 versus Outsiders. In which a match I feel like Cloud9 should win. Cloud9 Outsiders probably know each other pretty well, coming from the same region. Although I do expect that Cloud9 maybe more so probably wants to win. And Cloud9 probably knows how to win against these types of opponents a bit better than, you know, if they had played Fury in this match, or Heroic or NaVi. But because they play, I mean, the hardest opponent they can play in their group is basically Outsiders. And quite frankly speaking, I reckon Cloud9 has probably a 85% chance of winning their whole side of the group in the playoffs, right? I don't really look at any particular team in this side of the bracket to be like, oh, they can really challenge Cloud9 at this point. Oh, they can really win. In order for Outsiders to win against Cloud9, Axile would need to go quiet, Shiro would need to go quiet, and Flit for Outsiders would need to go bonkers. And based on current form, I don't really think that's very probable, quite frankly speaking with you. In this matchup, I would say Cloud9 70-30 to Outsiders. 70% chance they will win this matchup, 30% for Outsiders. Heroic NaVi is another matchup that historically just goes to NaVi, and quite frankly, I don't really have any indicators that this type of matchup will go differently, even though NaVi struggles quite a bit right now compared to the last season's form. It's not like Heroic either is looking fantastic or unbeatable, having lost to Cloud9 as well in a best of 3, in which they got, from what I know, they got manhandled, but I don't want to say that for sure because I didn't really watch it that much. So I'm just gonna go for NaVi. There's just nothing that indicates that Heroic this time around will do the upset and will go all the way. Could they do it? Yes, but it's not very likely. I would say 70-30 again in this matchup. Just because historically, NaVi just has the upper hand against Heroic, whether it's the playstyle or the individuals stepping up. NaVi versus Cloud9 in the major final is another thing that is very, in my mind, 50-50 right now. There is obviously, you can look back to the Boston Major in which Cloud9 was 0-2 in Challengers, which they was this time around, but then went around to win the Major, which they also have a very big chance of doing it right here, right now. In which case, they probably should just play 0-2 in every Challenger stage, quite frankly speaking with you. NaVi, on the other hand, is just looking to cement their year as probably a bit better, placing second behind FaZe Clan in basically every major tournament. Not simply, of course, looking for his second major and second MVP, Somda Young as a quote-unquote stand-in, looking for his first. So in this case, I would say NaVi are favorites, because it's a final, they are used to playing finals, Cloud9 are not. Even though Cloud9 did win 16-14 versus NaVi in the Legend stage in this 1-0 matchup, I wouldn't really go back to that result as a marquee matchup to where this is definitely where Cloud9 were just superior to them. I don't really think so, because it was a 16-14 game. Quite frankly speaking, NaVi could have won that match as well. So if we go back to all this, I would say NaVi are the favorites to win the whole thing, although I would put it like, if they played right here, right now, tomorrow or today, I would say it's 60-40 NaVi to Cloud9, but I wouldn't really trust it. Yeah, this is probably gonna be my final pickups. As you can see, I did lock it in before because I forgot to record. Stupid mistake, but I'm gonna go for NaVi to win the major. Simple get the second major and second major MVP. Cloud9 that will come really close. They will go down as a 3-mapper and NaVi will win in the end. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.